hopefully the sound is better. I'm going to start this over one more time. Sorry for the echoing sound from the last one we were doing. And we're going to wait for other folks to join us. And here comes Jon. Jon, join us. There's Jon. And now let's invite Nora back up. There you go. Hey, that's better. And we'll just wait for LJ to join us.
Can I go back to the book? Book
Oh,
is
of course.
here.
Read it
Mirroring.
for us. We can't read it. It looks backwards. What does it say?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's mirroring the moment, poetic reflections, and it's by Cleaster Whitehurst Mims, and that's her on the back right there. My beautiful great aunt. It's my mom's
Oh my God.
sister.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
I can't wait to read it.
Yes.
Can't wait to read it. So we're just waiting for LJ to join us back again. Thanks for those who hopped off and hopped back on with us again. And just reintroducing ourselves, I'm Liz Huck. I'm the Executive Director for Oakland Rising. I'll pass it to Jon.
Jon Bean, Deputy Director for Oakland Rising.
Nora, they, them, current administrative assistant for Oakland Rising.
And our volunteer coordinator.
And volunteer lead coordinator.
I don't want to leave that out because that is the amazing work that you really have done for us. And we're just waiting for LJ to hop back on so we could talk a little bit more about some of the things that we did in 2021. And so for folks who are joining, like if you want to drop in the chat, like what are you having for lunch? What are the ways that you nourished us? Check out, it's posted on Monday, the Monday meals highlights. You can check out our other video where we started talking about, what we're up to and who we are and how we do that and what we're having for lunch and nourishing ourselves. And here comes LJ. But we're going to talk a little bit about what we did in 2021. And yay, LJ's back. We had so much. We, as a staff, right before we went on our winter break, we got together because it was safe at that time. And we put up on this board, on a big giant whiteboard, which basically is a whole wall, of all of the things we had accomplished last year. And it was like the whole entire board was filled and we were so excited. But and just really thinking about like what are the lessons learned, like what are the big highlights that really happened for us last year. And the big piece is that our program team really held it down, right? We started off the year by doing a texting program. And this was in conjunction with the Reimagining Public Safety Task Force that was happening. And as some of you all know, that was really looking at the ways in which that we can examine how in Oakland we could think about public safety. And we did a texting program. And LJ, you were a big lead on that. Could you say a little bit about like what it looks like for our daily team? Like what does our canvassing team do and our phone banking team do when they're reaching out to people, and who are they reaching out to?
Yeah. So in general, pretty much, we hire a bunch of, first, we start off by reaching out to our allies and our partner organizations across Oakland and Alameda County to basically promote our open positions to their base, to their members, because, we believe it's important to not only build people power, but then also to employ folks directly from our communities that are directly and indirectly impacted by the system. So we, reach out to folks across the city, and then we hire, depending on the size of the campaign, we hire on a range of 5 to 20 people sometimes, to phone bank virtually most of the time during the pandemic, and then also to canvas in certain areas of Oakland. It can be West Oakland, East Oakland. And also, depending on the structure of the program, we'll have like 2 different phases. One phase would be phone banking or canvassing or texting, and the other would be either the other three. And so we basically strategically reach out to a certain number of voters in Oakland, around whatever issue that we're focusing on during a time. Um, and the dynamics of the folks that we hire is always like really special, because we'll have returners from previous programs, or we'll have new people.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have really young folks like age 15, or some folks who are like in their 40s, 50s, whatever. And the dynamic is always nice because people are like really welcoming and happy and willing to like teach one another things and certain best practices, especially if they've been on the team before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then
That's
we
what I
also,
love about our
yeah,
daily team.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then we
They
also
really look out for
practice,
each other.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And we also practice leadership development because we've actually hired some of the daily team members to be like leads or coordinators of the program.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always really nice to see them grow, and see them like excel and contribute to the team, in a more advanced way. So it's really nice.
Yeah. So what's really exciting, and LJ talked about this earlier, and I think Jon will talk about it a little more, is that we are going from having these temporary teams to having a year-round team. So I'm so excited about this, y'all. We can't wait to tell you a little bit more about it. But so what we did at the beginning of 2021, LJ, is we did this texting program, and this texting program went out. It didn't go out to all of Oakland, and we want to be really clear, right? Because we're not, our main focus at Oakland Rising and our mission is to build political and electoral power for residents that live in the flatlands of East and West Oakland, right? And so we did this texting program, and we texted originally, I believe we reached out to we sent the original text out to like 20,000
Yeah.
Oakland voters that live in the flatlands. And these are folks who don't generally vote,
Hmm.
right? And I think we were asking folks from age 18 to 75, and
Hmm.
folks who make 75,000 or less a year. And we're looking for folks, people of color voters, right? And in general. And so when we text out to those people, how many people reached back out to us?
We got a response rate it was fairly low, but that's like pretty much all the time. But over 1,100 folks actually responded, and surprisingly, 65% of them were actually in support of redirecting and reinvesting into the community. Which was really great because we didn't really, expect a lot of positive feedback. on,
Yeah, because the
on the
messaging
phone.
out there, right, is that
Yeah.
like Libby Schaff and other folks who are and the OPD and a lot of other folks are saying like that residents in Oakland want more policing. And in fact, when we talk to folks and when we text with them, what they told us, 65% of them told us that actually they think that we should defund the police and reinvest in community. And then when you really look, when you take a really deep dive into the data, it was saying even those who said that we should be funding the police, they actually really believed that what we needed to do was invest in the community as well. Like investing in the community is what we need to be doing and focusing our energy on. So that then led, that texting program led into a phone banking program, right? That
Yeah.
helped to win a budget. What was that like for us?
We were actually able to contact, well, really ID. So ID means identified supporters. Over 1,500 people out of like the thousands of people that we contacted, which was also really great because, you know, a lot of people aren't answering their phones these
That's
days,
right.
but that it was a really high success rate given the circumstances.
Yeah. And that was a budget that was to help us win a people's budget, right, in Oakland, because we do a biannual budget process that gets a 2-year budget. And we were able to redirect $18 million into the Department of Violence Prevention and get like $3 million into arts and the arts and culture and other issues and programs in Oakland. So this is one of those places where we see that direct impact, like our programs, calling people, talking to people at the doors. Something else we talked to people about, which was really, really difficult, was signing people up for COVID vaccinations.
Yeah.
What's that shake? Why are you shaking your head?
Um, I'm gonna be transparent because
Yeah.
in the beginning of like the release of the vaccine, I was even against it myself because
Mhm.
of, you know, I identify as black, and my family, my ancestors, a lot of us don't trust the government. A lot of us don't trust certain sources and things like that. Damn near don't even trust the doctor. Um, so it was like really difficult to sign people up for something I didn't believe in myself.
Mm,
And then once I started to kind of like learn more information about it, being trained by the state and then also by our partners, I started to kind of look at it a different way. But even when we would provide that information to voters across Oakland, we didn't get any bite. So it was really difficult to, you know, have to meet a certain goal, and then trying not to persuade people to get it rather than like sorry, trying not to persuade people to get it but try to encourage them to get it was really difficult because, you know, a lot of people were like anti-vaccination.
right.
um However, given that we were in a pandemic, we did have a lot of people open doors, but it was just like, you know, we didn't get a lot of people to actually sign up for the vaccination.
Yeah, yeah. And it feels like one of the things, like one of the lessons learned from that time was from that campaign was that there really needs to be like a strong push between like us actually talking to people on the door and the level of political education that needs to happen, right? And so, how do we do that hand in hand together? Because you can't 5 minutes in front of someone in front of their door and going, "Let me talk to you about vaccines," isn't going to actually give the in-depth education that folks can make an informed choice. Um, so what would that look like for us, right? And I think that was a big lesson for us was thinking about what does political education really look like.
Right.
But you joined us a little later in the year, Nora, and we were, a big part of what we do in all of these programs is we have a big volunteer program that joins the conversation and reaches out to people the same, doing phone banking, sometimes door knocking, and then talking to people. And at the end, we were we were could you tell folks a little bit about the campaign that we are leading towards the end of the year?
Yeah, for sure. So, what we were working towards the end of the year is like keeping folks engaged politically and getting like a temperature check almost around how folks were feeling about a lot of the issues that were going to be coming up this year in the midterm elections.
Mm-hmm.
Those is like, it's going to include a couple things around like the AD's office, a couple other places that we're looking to really concentrate our efforts on, around housing justice, a couple other things that we're really wanting to see how the folks in the Flatlands were feeling about that. So the first part of my process was to get folks engaged to talk to other folks in the Flatlands around that thing, around these things that were important to us. So I spent a lot of time calling folks to get them to volunteer to speak with other folks about that. And I think one of the like the best, the most invigorating things for me around that was how many folks were interested in talking to other folks and getting
Mm.
engaged in how willing folks were to be engaged with Oakland Rising and to be engaged with this whole process of like talking to other folks about what was going on in our city and how much they cared about this city and like the things that we could push forward that would make the city more equitable for everybody. So we had a lot of success with getting folks on to volunteer, and then from there we went out into a couple of places in East Oakland and some places in unincorporated Oakland, down closer to the San Leandro, Hayward, Oakland borders, and we're able to talk to a lot of folks, do some door knocking, some socially distanced, very safe door knocking, and talk to folks about how they were feeling about TOPA, which if folks don't know, is the Tenants Opportunity to Purchase Act, which will be coming up later on this year. So we got an opportunity to talk with folks about those things, and the enthusiasm was really good. It was really like it's really hopeful. It's gonna look really good for us to continue this work further on this later this year.
Yeah, that's really exciting. And I think that is the crux of any electoral campaign, right? And that we run through Oakland Rising is our volunteer base, right? That actually is part of building the power because, even though our daily team is really strong, that is also a huge component is the volunteer part of it. And so some could you say a little bit about what are volunteers, who are volunteers, and how people might be able to get involved
Oh,
for
absolutely.
2022?
So folks can definitely get involved on our website, Oakland Rising. And I wanted to say more about our volunteers. That the thing that was like really like heartwarming to me is that our folks are people who really do have a dog in the fight. Like these are local community members. These are other like BIPOC folk. These are other like homeless and poor folk who are interested in like really passionate about their city and like trying to see that this city becomes everything that it has promised to be. So I think that was like one of the biggest things, and of course, a lot of that comes also from our coalition, our other community base, and our who are also like APIN and other organizations who are just trying to get the word out about these things that are affecting Oakland.
Yeah. So our collaborative partners, so Asian Pacific Environmental Network, Casa Justa Just Cause, Communities United for Restorative Youth Justice, East Bay Alliance for Sustainable Economy, Casa Justa Just Cause, Parent Voices Oakland, St. Mary Center, and Bend the Arc. I feel like I'm missing
There's
somebody.
always one
More?
or two. That's
MUA. Mujeres Unidas Activas. Thank you. Yay. That's why we're a team. Because we keep each other in check. Um, so yeah, that volunteer base is going to be really important to us, right? As we move into 2022. And Jon, as we're looking, 2022 is going to be a big year for Oakland. And into Alameda County and unincorporated Alameda County. So if we're looking in June, there's the June primary, and we
Yep.
don't do the primary in Oakland because we have what is it called? Why am I forgetting? Ranked choice voting. No, ranked choice voting. And so, but for Alameda County, we have a couple big races that are coming up, and we're keeping our eye on it as Oakland Rising. And then, if you're thinking about Oakland Rising Action, that's our C4 sister organization, and we'll be doing some organizing. But just to let folks know, on the C3 side of things, just so that they can keep an eye out, what are some big races we're looking at in the June primary?
I know we're definitely gonna keep our eye open on the DA race that's coming up. We're gonna be the gross tax receipt. We also have the council seats that are going to be coming up, which are the even numbers 2, 4, and 6. And we have the mayor's race that will be coming up. So, yeah, just tons of stuff. And then also, as Nora mentioned, TOPA is something that we're going to be keeping our eye out on as well.
Yeah, and the all of the things that are happening in Oakland, so all of those ballot measures that Jon just mentioned are actually for the November election in Oakland. We're really focused a lot on the district attorney's race in Alameda County. And who are some of the organizations that folks can follow aside from Oakland Rising around the DA stuff? What are some coalition partners that we know that are working on that in Alameda County?
Well, I know the JRC, the Justice Reinvestment Coalition, is definitely working on that. You have ATPT, who's
APTP.
doing some work on that. Urban Peace Movement. I feel like I'm forgetting a few folks though.
You know, a partner I forgot to mention was Ella Baker Center
Oh
for Human
yeah.
Rights.
Oh
Alabama.
yeah.
See, and that's why I was thinking about it,
Yes.
because they do a lot of that, the district attorney accountability work, particularly around Santa Rita jail. Yeah. So,
Yes.
and so as we're looking forward to November, right, y'all can get involved because we're going to have some campaigns that are going to be leading up to the June primary. So probably March, April, May. And then for November, folks can get involved with in uh, August, September, October to lead up to the elections that are happening in November. And so just follow it all because y'all, we're going to be busy. There's going to be so much to get involved with. So keep your eye out. And so, um, Nora, can you tell us again, like how folks can get involved?
Folks can definitely, of course, they can follow Oakland Rising on IG. I assume a lot of
Yay!
folks already on here already are. And again, follow us. You can check out our website, oaklandrising.org. There's a lot of good information there about updates, and there's a blog that we have there that we keep up with a lot of the stuff. So please check us out there as well. That's the best place for resources for
Yeah,
us.
thanks. And I just big shout out again to Jocelyn Cancino and Beth Gunson, who is our comms team, who really hold that piece down. So you can sign up there to get the updates, sign up for our e-blast, but also you can donate. So oaklandrising.org/donate. We're always taking donations to help boost the work and to continue to build our team and support our year-round canvassing team, because I think that's going to be really key. And the thing that's really great about it is that one of the pieces that Jon's going to be working on with our daily team is like really building a pipeline for, not pipeline, a pathway for leadership, right? So
Yeah.
that folks who are on our team can end up like Jon, from moving from being on our daily team, talking to folks on the phone, to becoming our deputy director. And then even taking my job, come up here and take this job, right? So that we have folks that really represent the community. And that's going to be a big part of that piece. What's most exciting about that for you, Jon?
The political education part, like strengthening, like you said, the pathway from just meeting folks where they are, kind of bringing folks in at entry level. Like, hey, I know you might not know a lot about Oakland Rising, you might not know a lot about political outreach, but this is what we do, and we train folks up. We give them the tools that they need to go out and be successful at organizing and to continue to be successful out in the organizing world, not here just at Oakland Rising. Folks have branched out and went to other organizations and continue to chase their dreams of being an organizer. And just to be able to bring all those tools and skills into one place and have this new set. And that's what I love also too, is like every year there's a new group. There's we bring some returners on, some folks that are, like our old faithfuls that we know are going to come down and do some great work, but we continue to grow and bring folks on. I remember LJ's first day, you know what I mean? And look at her now, she's amazing. She's an IVE manager, and now we have Laura. They're doing amazing work. We've just continuing to grow as an organization in our leadership, and then we're going to have all these different folks that are going to be coming into this year-round program that we're going to be running now, which is kind of like hard for me to say because we've been fighting for this for so long, I think, and now that it's coming to fruition, that it's just an amazing feeling to have, to be able to guarantee folks organizing opportunities that are going to continue to grow year after year.
Yeah, I'm so excited about that. This is like one of the things that I really set out at when I stepped into this role, to be like, one, how do we create and actively make more room for Black voices and leadership in the organization? What are the ways that I could step out of the way so that can happen? How do we create a year-round team that really represent the communities that we're talking to? And I'm so excited that this is the team that's like working together to make that happen for Oakland and for Alameda County as a whole. And so excited for you all. Thank you for joining me. Yay! I'm so glad, because it's always my face out here. And so I just love that to have the team join and like talk about all the work that you all do in the space, and really holding it down, because that is Oakland Rising's bread and butter, right? The phone banking, the door knocking. And not only do we do that, on the inside outside strategies around organizing and building electoral power, but that's how we do it, is we, have this amazing daily team. We have an amazing volunteer base that really get that out there. And we're talking to people that the city is not talking to and doesn't care about, right? That this city administration, Mayor Schaaf, and other some of the city council members, not all of them, there are some amazing progressive allies out there, but there are some out there who are really trying to keep Oakland locked in with its disparities. And we really need to be building an electoral base that is strong enough to turn this city into a city that, like Nora said earlier, the city that we dream for, the city that really takes care of its people. And because we do that already, right? Like all our people, we take care of each other day to day.
Absolutely.
So check in on your people, because I know that Omicron, no joke, y'all. Boost your immunity, take care of yourselves, and get tested as much as you can, so that you can take care of yourself. And get vaccinated if you're down for it. No judgment if you don't, but to take care of yourself so that we can fight one more day for that New Year revolution that LJ keeps calling for.
I knew you were going to back up.
You know me. Okay, so love you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank
Have
you
a
guys.
great day.
Thank you. Bye.